The sound is wrong. In the damp, green quiet of the undergrowth, a sound that is not the drip of water from a fern, the snap of a twig under a heavy foot, or the distant, guttural cough of a hunting raptor, is a sound that means death. The silent forest clan has survived for generations by understanding this rule. Their own language is a thing of hand signs, soft clicks, and whispers, a language designed to be swallowed by the moss and leaves. But this new sound is a thread of pure, liquid melody. It is a complex drill, a warble that rises and falls with an impossible, joyful clarity. It is the sound of a sunbird singing in the heart of the deepest shadow, and it comes from the center of their own camp. The hunters freeze, their hands tightening on their flint-tipped spears. The women gathering roots stop, their heads cocked, their faces masks of confusion and fear. The sound comes from Leah, a child of 3 winters, sitting in the dirt and patting a mound of mud. She is not crying, nor calling for her mother. She is singing, but it is not a human song. Her small voice perfectly replicates the call of the crimson-crested fin, a bird whose song is so intricate that the clan believes it is the voice of a forest spirit. The other children stare at her, a strange mix of fascination and dread on their faces. Their mothers quietly pull them away, as if Leah's song is a sickness that might leap through the air. In a world where survival depends on being unheard, Leah is a beacon. Old Elara, the clan's shaman, watches from the entrance of her lean-to. Her face, a roadmap of wrinkles and scars, is unreadable. Her role is to interpret the signs, to listen to the whispers of the world that others cannot hear. This is the core of their shamanism, understanding that every roar, every rustle, every strange pattern in the clouds is a word in the language of the spirits. And this child speaks that language, while the others hear only a dangerous anomaly, a freakishness that could draw the attention of the great predators. Elara hears something else. She hears power. She has spent her life drinking bitter herbs to chase visions, reading the future in the entrails of a kill. But Leah does not need to chase the spirits. They seem to live in her throat. Elara walks slowly toward the child. The clan parts for her, their unease palpable. Leah stops her song and looks up at the old woman, her eyes wide and dark. She is just a child, a small, fragile member of the species Homo sapiens. Unaware of the storm of fear she has created, Elara crouches down, her old knees cracking like dry sticks. She does not speak. Instead, she hums a single low note, the sound the clan uses to signal safety and calm. Leah watches her for a long moment. She opens her mouth and hums the exact note back, a perfect, unwavering echo. A gasp ripples through the onlookers. It is more than mimicry. It is a resonance, a connection that feels deeper than blood. In that moment, Elara sees the child's future. Leah is not a curse. She is a tool weapon, a voice that can speak directly to the awe and terror that governs their lives. She reaches out a hand, not to silence the child, but to hold the new voice of her people. The training is a strange and silent conversation. Elara does not teach Leah words. She teaches her the world. She points to the canopy where the wind whispers through the giant ferns, and Leah, after a moment of intense listening, replicates the sound with her breath, a soft, sibilant hiss that is almost indistinguishable from the original. Elara crushes a dry leaf, and Leah mimics the sharp crackle in the back of her throat. This is the foundation of Elara's teaching, a deep form of animism where every object and every force has a voice, a spirit that can be understood and spoken to. Leah, she believes, is the first human born with the throat of a spirit. Her gift is to be the clan's interpreter. Slowly, Elara moves from simple mimicry to emotional architecture. She guides Leah to create sounds that evoke feelings. A low, resonant hum, like the drone of 1,000 bees, is taught as the sound of safety, a sound to be used when fear gnaws at the edges of the firelight. A series of sharp, rhythmic clicks, like stones tapping together, becomes the sound of focus, of the mind preparing for the intricate work of knapping flint. It is a new language, one spoken not to the mind, but directly to the heart, the gut, the trembling nerves. It is the beginning of ritual. The first true test comes with the sound of a falling mountain. A deep, earth-shaking roar echoes through the valley, a sound that bypasses the ears and sinks directly into the bones. Tyrannosaurus. The clan reacts with primal instinctual terror. Children begin to cry. The hunters snatch their spears, their knuckles white, their eyes widen searching the dense reline. Panic is a spark about to catch fire, a force that could scatter them into the forest, making them easy prey. Elara grabs Leah's shoulder, her grip like a talon. Now, she whispers, her voice urgent. The beat-drum, the safety sound. Leah is terrified, her small body trembling, but she obeys. She closes her eyes and from her throat comes the low, continuous hum they have practiced. It is a small sound against the monster's roar, a pebble against an avalanche. But it does not try to compete. It offers a different path. The steady, hypnotic drone is an anchor in the storm of fear. The hunters hear it, and their wild-eyed panic softens into a focused vigilance. The mothers, hushing their children, find the rhythm and begin to hum along, their voices adding layers to the sound. The fear is not gone, but it is contained. Leah's voice has become a cage for their terror, allowing them to remain a unified, thinking community instead of a herd of scattering prey. Before the next hunt, Elara initiates a new ritual. The hunters stand in a circle, their spears held ready. They are about to track a herd of plated stegosaurus, a dangerous and unpredictable quarry. Their faces are tense. Elara nods to Leah. This time the sound is different. It is a sharp, percussive chant, mimicking the powerful cry of a hawk mixed with the rhythmic pounding of a running herd. It builds, faster and louder, a sonic weapon against doubt. The hunters begin to move with it, their feet stamping the dirt in time with Leah's calls. Their individual anxieties are burned away in the heat of the shared rhythm. Their fear is transformed into a collective, aggressive energy. When the chant ends in a single, sharp cry, they are no longer a group of nervous men. They are a single hunting machine, their minds and bodies woven together by the voice of a child who was born speaking the language of the spirits. The hunt for the great mega loc Eros is a disaster. The stag, a ghost white elder with antlers like a dead tree, is faster and more cunning than they anticipated. It leads the hunters into a narrow, rock-strewn canyon and turns on them. Or in the lead hunter is gored, his chest ripped open by a tine as wide as his hand. To others are trampled in the panicked retreat. They return to the camp not with meat, but with death, carrying Orin's broken body and their own shame. The clan is plunged into a silence deeper than any forest, a heavy blanket of grief and despair. Their confidence is shattered. The spirits, they murmur, have abandoned them. Elara is too old to comfort them. The loss has struck her like a physical blow, and she sits by the cold fire, her body a shrunken knot of sorrow. The ritual chants of courage and focus now seem like hollow lies. What good is a hawk's cry against the brutal reality of a sharpened horn? This is a wound that Leah's practiced mimicry cannot heal. The sounds of the forest, of birds and wind, are indifferent to their suffering. For the first time, the clan's new spiritual tool is useless, and Leah, the child who speaks with the voice of spirits, is just a frightened child, watching her family drown in a sea of silent pain. That night, as the twin moons rise, a new sound fills the camp. It is Leah. She is sitting by Orin's body, which has been wrapped in hides for its return to the earth, but she is not mimicking a bird or the wind. The sound coming from her throat is something new, something that has never been heard before in the long history of hominid history. It is a melody. It starts slow, a single, mournful note that holds all the weight of their collective grief, but the sound of the pain itself. Then the note wavers, rises, and connects to another, then another, weaving a fluid, continuous line of sound. It is a song of loss, a lament that speaks of the spear that failed, the friend who fell, the emptiness in their bellies and their hearts. The clan turns toward the sound. They see the small girl, her face illuminated by the moonlight, her eyes closed. She is not performing a ritual. She is sharing a feeling. Her voice tells the story of their failure and their sorrow more truly than any words or gestures could. The hunters, their faces hard masks of shame, feel the tension and their shoulders begin to ease. The women who have been weeping silently find a voice for their tears in Leah's melody. not with the practiced precision of a ritual but with the raw, untuttered voice of their own pain. The song swells, a chorus of shared grief that purifies the air. It does not erase the loss, but it transforms it from an individual burden into a communal weight, bearable because it is carried by all. The melody rises, and in its final, aching notes, there is a flicker of something other than sorrow, a thread of resilience, a promise of the dawn to come. They are no longer broken. They are a people, united not by a successful hunt, but by a shared and understood tragedy. Leah, the girl with the voice of a bird, has just given her clan the first true human song, and in doing so, has taught them how to be whole again. This was the moment music was truly born, not as mimicry or ritual, but as a direct bridge between souls. Leah's song was a profound leap in human evolution, the discovery of an emotional technology far more powerful than any stone tool. For the first time, our ancestors could share the complex, internal landscapes of grief, hope, and love without words. This ability to create a shared emotional state through melody became the glue that could hold a community together through the darkest of times. It transformed shamanism from the interpretation of signs into the creation of sacred experience. They painted the great hunts on cave walls, the first petroglyphs, but they carried the music inside them, a portable, living art that could be deployed against the terrors of a prehistoric world. It is the oldest and most powerful of our inventions, the ghosting that still echoes in every lullaby, every anthem, every song of heartbreak and joy. Listen to the silence, and you can still hear her first hesitant note. But far to the south, on the sun-scorched plains, a different kind of evolution is taking place. A clan that has learned to kill not with spears, but with endurance, running their prey to death under the relentless glare of the African sun.